Welcome everybody to episode 1 of my brand new series, the Will They Be Ported series. Now, if you've seen my What Are Their Chances series on the Smash Bros. Characters that are likely to make it in a Smash Ultimate DLC, then you know how this works. I'm going to give each game the chance score of coming to the Switch and my personal want score for them to come to the Switch, which most of them are going to be really high. So the 3 games I will be looking at today are Super Mario 3D World, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, and Nintendo Land. So let's start off right now. Super Mario 3D World. 4 words. This is getting ported. Wait, was that 4 words? I don't know. I'm too lazy to check. But yeah, this is getting ported. There's no way it isn't getting ported. Alright, so it has all the positives that it can possibly have going for it. All the Wii U gamepad stuff that requires it, well, it could be easily fixed. Might be wondering, oh, why? Well, Captain Toad was on the Wii U, and that had much more gamepad required stuff than this game does, and they were able to port that over just fine. So they could easily do that here, so the gamepad stuff isn't an issue. This game did incredible sales-wise on the Wii U, so just porting it over would just bleep cash. And some may argue that this won't happen because we already have a 3D Mario on the console in Mario Odyssey. Okay, you have a decent point, I suppose, but I'm going to absolutely destroy your point right now. This is a completely different kind of 3D Mario. This is a 2.5D 3D Mario, while normal Mario Odyssey was a sandbox style game. So since these are two completely different types of 3D Mario, I don't think that that's a roadblock at all. If anything, I think that just makes it have an even higher chance. And I don't really think Nintendo would have to add anything aside from maybe a few characters or so in order to make this feel like a deluxe version. Hopefully they do more than what they did with Mario U Deluxe. I'm still mad that I wasted $60 on that. But I just think that this would be a perfect game for a holiday release. It has the gamepad exclusive stuff were minimal and could easily be transported to the Switch. It did incredible sales on the Wii U and would also do incredible on the Switch, and would be a perfect holiday release with not having to add very many content to the game. So for all those reasons, I think it has a very high chance. What exact number of a chance does it have? Well, let's get right to its chance score. With everything I said, I give Super Mario 3D World Deluxe a chance score of 99%. I want to put this at 100%, but I am not going to because then I will end up being wrong and I'll be ashamed and cry in a corner for the rest of eternity. So yeah, 99% chance. There is no roadblocks for this coming over whatsoever. Did incredible on the Wii U and would be incredible on the Switch. We have another type of 3D Mario that isn't sandbox on the Switch. They would have to add very little content for it to do well and would be a perfect holiday release. I just can't think of any negatives for them bringing this game over. For a want score, 95%. This may be my least favorite 3D Mario, but that doesn't mean that it isn't an amazing game, because it is. I would really like to have this game on the Switch and being able to bring it portable, especially with the levels being short. That would be perfect for bringing them places. Just quickly knock out a level, and I really like to see if they added new characters like Daisy or Yoshi or Toadette. I think that would just be really cool. This is the most underrated game I have ever played. Seriously, this game is just incredible, and it is definitely one of my favorite games on the Wii U by far. There's so much content. There's a lot of single-player content. There's a lot of multiplayer content. And don't even get me started on the Mario, the Animal Crossing, the Luigi's Mansion, the Metroid, the Pikmin, the Zelda, the Donkey Kong, the Captain Falcon. All the mini games are so great and have so much variety to them. So I would absolutely love to see this game come to the Switch. But unfortunately, I really don't think it will. This game's whole gimmick is about the gamepad. It shows up the complete capacity of the gamepad. So you might be thinking, oh, but 3D World used some gamepad mechanics too, and that can be transported just fine. Yes, because they were very minimal. The whole game of Nintendo Land is based around the gamepad. Just look at the Mario, Animal Crossing, and Luigi's Mansion ones. The you have to use the gamepad as a separate screen, and you have to use the TV and the gamepad as separate screens, which the Switch obviously doesn't have two screens. And if you made them like into like if you even took those and put them in the split screen, that still wouldn't work that well since you could look at one side, you could look at the other person's side of the screen and cheat. So that doesn't really work. I don't think porting most of the mini games over would be much of an issue. I don't think the full game ones like the Zelda, Metroid, or Pikmin would be much of an issue. Nor would most of the single player games be much of an issue. But the multiplayer ones are truly the big issue here because they all require the two screens and can't be really ported over without it. I suppose they could like make a Nintendo Land app on the phone, but there's no way that they would do that. Like they can use the Nintendo Land app to work as like the gamepad screen, but there's no way that they're going to do that. Nintendo is not that kind of company to do that. I mean, I suppose they could completely change those up. Like Luigi's Mansion could literally just turn it into like a Legend of Zelda or Pikmin style thing where you just go around catching ghosts. But for all those adjustments, it'd be much more of a sequel and less of a port. I could see a sequel for this, but for a port, no, it's just not gonna happen. They'd have to change up way too much, and I just don't think they'd do that. Sure, this game did really good sales wise, but I don't think that they would port it, and I think they'd much more go with a sequel because with all the adjustments they're gonna have to make. Though we're completely redoing 3 mini games, I think it's gonna be more of a sequel and less of a port. So I give Nintendo Land a chance score of 5%. It did have very good sales, but it did have to change way too much for it to be considered a port. It's a sequel I could definitely see happening, but a port, no. Too much of the game relied on the gamepad's capabilities, and it just wouldn't work on the Switch. For a want score, 60%. As much as I absolutely love Nintendo Land, I'd much rather have a sequel to the game. I think a port would overall just be really clunky to play, and I just don't think it would be that fun because of how much it worked with the gamepad, and I just don't think it would work with the Switch that well and would honestly be very clunky. So, but I think a sequel where they changed up the 3 mini games completely and added a bunch of new ones, a sequel I think would be awesome. So I give 100% chance of want score for a sequel, but a port I just think it'd be clunky and not that fun. So 60% for a want score. But we need a sequel though. That's 100% want score for me if they get a sequel. So the last game we'll be looking at is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. I don't see any issues for this game getting over whatsoever. I'm not sure if it'll be this year because we already have Breath of the Wild 2 coming. And yeah, I know that's probably not going to be released this year, but they're still putting all their time and effort into that. But I do think it will come to the Switch eventually. Sure, they'll have to change like the inventory system because you use your gamepad for it, for your inventory and stuff like that. But that'd be much more than easy to fix. So like I said, I don't really see any problems with this game. It did well on the Wii U, would be easy to port to the Switch. I just really think this is going to happen. If we're going to get a new Zelda game this year, but even though I still don't think we are, then I definitely think that this game is very likely to come this year if we are getting a new Zelda. Well, that is the Breath of the Wild 2 isn't this year, but I highly doubt it will be. But yeah, I definitely see this having a very high chance of getting in. Be easy to port, did lots of sales, and would be a perfect Zelda game for this year, if there is one coming. So for the chance score, I give Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD a chance score of 75%. I could definitely see this happening as the Zelda game for this year. But what's holding it back is that they're putting so much effort into Breath of the Wild 2 that I'm not exactly sure if we'll get a new Zelda game until that's released. But even if that is so, I still think we are definitely going to get this game. Because it did incredible sales-wise, would be very easy to port, I just think that is going to happen. It's definitely not as likely as 3D World, but it's still very likely to come. For a want score, 80%. Although I have never played Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, I want to. I want to play it. The art style alone has me sold on the game, and it just looks really, really fun. So if it comes to the Switch, I will definitely play it, and I definitely want it to come. Before I end off this video, I just wanted to talk about Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Yes, I know it already got announced yesterday, but I just wanted to talk about it. I was planning for this one to be in the video, but I had to scrap it because it got announced. So I'm just going to quickly talk about what my chance score was for the game before it actually ended up getting announced. So I'm just going to quickly talk about what I did give it before it was announced right now. So before it was announced, I gave Pikmin 3 Deluxe a chance score of 85%. Seeing how we haven't gotten a new something related to Pikmin in like forever, I was kind of expecting this to come to the Switch, but I also kind of wasn't because they said they were working on Pikmin 4, which I hope that wasn't Hey Pikmin, because if it was, me and many others would be mad. Anyway, yeah, so I thought it would come because we haven't had anything Pikmin related in quite a while. So for a want score, I gave it an 80%. I've never played Pikmin, but I really want to try out the series, and now that the game actually is coming, I'm super excited to try out the series. So that's what I thought of each of these games' chances on coming to Switch. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with my opinions? Do you disagree with them? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments section. And if you have a game on the Wii U that you want me to give their chance of being ported to the Switch in the next episode, also leave that down below in the comments. And if I like it, and if other people like it, your game will be the one given a chance score to next. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.